In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to add components to a road that does not need to match with the existing roads. So you can add and remove components as you want to a road. So we'll go back to the same area in which we created a road between Austin and Jocelyn. And now let's say I want to subdivide this property into two separate areas with a road that goes between them. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to delete this. Let's say that here's where I want the road. I'm going to delete this property here so I can put a road between them just with the delete button. And I'm going to go back to roads, designed roadways, component roads. And by default, there's going to be two lanes. And I'm going to start with the road here, and I'm going to end the road here, both with left mouse button. And then I'm going to end the draw. So you can see immediately that it drew the road just two lanes. It continued the shoulder and the green space area on here. Now I have lane markings as to what the turnings are, because there might be a traffic light over here. And the road now only is just a road, and there are no sidewalks or anything because this is an interior road. And it also connects to Digby over here and parallel to Probasco. Now in this case, we did not convert Digby to a component road. As you might remember, in our previous tutorial, we converted Austin and Jocelyn into component roads. In this case, I'm not going to do that because I don't have to match the cross-section of the road with this new road I'm building. So here's my new road. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it in the road library over here. I'm going to call it new road. It's not very creative, but we want to know that it's new road for tutorials, so we're going to call it the new road. So here on new road, I want to add a green space, a sidewalk without the green space over here. Generally, it's not done that way, where the green space is probably stopped somewhere here and the sidewalk turns. But for learning purposes, we're going to put the sidewalk on either side of this road. So I'm going to select the road, and I'm going to right click on it and select Insert Road Component. And when I do that, InfraWorks provides an option of the component that I want to install and where on the road I want to install, because I may want to install a median in the middle of the road. I might want to do something on the edges of the road. So in this case, I want to put sidewalks. So I'm going to put a sidewalk on this side. So in the assembly library here, I'm going to scroll around to find the sidewalk. So there's the sidewalk, which I want to put. I've selected the sidewalk, and I'm going to put it on this side. So by default, InfraWorks installs a sidewalk like this. There is a 10-meter component of the sidewalk divided into three parts of 10 meters each. And there is a starting transition that starts at 0 width and brings it to full width of a sidewalk. 10 meters of a full width runs, and then it ends. Now I want the sidewalk to be from the beginning of the road to the end of the road between these roads, between Digby um, between Austin and Digby. I want it all the way. So here's what we're going to try. We're going to say, we're going to select the component so you get the handles as to how to connect these. I'm going to left click once on this handle, and it shows the station at which this starts and the length of it as a total 30 meters over here. I'm going to align this to the end of the road through here, through this option here, which brings it to the end of the road where it meets Austin Terrace. And I'm going to click outside. I'm going to do the same thing with this side of the sidewalk. I'm going to left click on it. I'm going to align it to the start of the road. So now I have a sidewalk that is all the way on here. Now I want to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to select the road, select new road. I'm going to select the other side of the road again, and I'm going to insert road component. So it remembers my last selection, which was a sidewalk. And now it shows me with the orange highlight where it's going to be. So I'm going to just randomly click it somewhere. So it does that. Again, I have the start and end transitions and the full width of the sidewalk over here. So I'm going to left click on this, align to end. I'm going to left click on this and align to start. And I'm going to click somewhere outside. You can also hit the enter button. So now I have sidewalk on the new road on either side. It also created the slope for embankment where the road is installed. I have the central lane mark, and it also has the road turn lane marks on the road. Now if I want to match the green space with the sidewalk here, I'm going to go here and check this component. I know that the width is 1 meter, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to select insert road component, and now I'm going to add a grass median. Now I'm going to try and match this road here without changing this road into a component road. Also, now I've decided that I want a green space over here to line it with trees. So I want the green space between the curb and the sidewalk, so I'm going to put that over here. Now I got the green space. Again, like we did for the sidewalk, I'm going to select, left click, and say end of road, and do the same thing over here to start of the road. I'm going to click outside, and I can see that this is wider than I want. And I also don't have a curb here. I want to match that one too. So I'm going to select this, insert road component, and I'm going to add a curb. Component assembly, curb and gutter. In this case, I don't have a gutter, so I'm just going to add a curb. So I'm going to add a curb here. And same thing, I'm going to left click on the beginning of the curb and move it all the way to the end of the road. Do the same thing here and move it to the start of the road. So now I have a curb that you can now see it automatically matched and connected to the existing curb over here. And you can also adjust other features of the curb here, the height, depth, and width, and all those things. We're not going to do all that. So I want to match the green space here. So I'm going to check this. I know that it is 0.75 meters. So I'm going to come back to my green space. I'm going to match that. So the width here by default is 2 meters. I'm going to change that to 0.75 and hit enter. Now that matched with the other green space. And so now we have a clean, nice transition into this road. I'm going to check the sidewalk width here, which is 1 meter. By default, InfraWorks here installed a 1.5 meter width. So I'm going to change this also to 1 meter. Oh, not 21, 1 meter. And hit enter. And now I have a sidewalk that matches with the existing sidewalk here. And it also matches with the sidewalk here. So if I wanted a green space only on this side, I can just create a new road without changing it to a component road, and I can add the different components and match it to the existing road. This might come in handy when you want a sidewalk only on one side of the road that you might see in most places. So in this case, what I will do is I will convert this sidewalk using the replace component into sloped grass. And I'm going to change the width of it to 0.75, which I know from the previous step. And so I now have a road which has a sidewalk only on one side. The green space continues on the other side. So I have a completely different cross-section of the roadway here in comparison to the same cross-section that we continued here and installed a safety barrier here. So this helps you determine what you want for your project in terms of roads and access to your building.